April 25, short story, Highway 95. Part 1. The gym mirror reflected a fat kid of slim ambition and thinning hair. No matter the angle of his face, at 22, everything receded or grew seriously large.
Fuck me.
Against concerted mental effort, he'd become his parents, an overbearing father and a mother nowhere to be found. Omari reached unenthusiastically for his face-down phone. A blue bubble blurted at him.
Bro, WTF? You fall in.
He texted back.
Coming out.
Finger smudge sludge mucked the screen with fog. Omari wiped at it, only to spread the slickness deeper into the tempered glass like a perma-stained old car window. While he wiped, he caught a peek of his bare, unshaded round stomach. Melancholy mask tightened around his temples at the sight of it. The locker room door swung open. A jacked Asian dude plunked a swollen gym bag down close enough that his, probably, Armani cologne hit Omari like a nailed flick to the nose. The guy began to change. Soon his shirt, then shoes, then dress slacks were neatly folded on the thin brown bench. Omari fast walked out. Through clanking weights, grunting raises, well-bootied bitches, and backs curved over phones, with a full-weighted rack behind, he found his brother X-Ray at one of only 3 bench press benches on the floor.
You take a shit or what?
Nah, bro, I was just...
Off in your own world again, huh?
Omari looked out the window. A saggy-skinned old man with a desperate face shuffled the curve of the rubberized track.
Come on and give me a spot.
X-Ray slid under the bar as if it were a car he'd fixed again and again. There must have been at least 150 pounds on there.
Ready?
His eyes rolled up to find Omari.
How many you gonna do?
As many as I can.
Okay.
His brother lifted off, then began. The way X-Ray's chest mounted like rising pancakes, with every push made him lose count.
You going to see Dad today?
Neck veins plumped a Rameau's pattern as X-Ray puffed out the number 3.
Like, always grade. Why?
Was gonna see about that job again.
Ah, how many is that?
7.
X-Ray shoved the steel up, while the weights rattled on both ends. A very tall woman, of near tissue-white skin, loaded a bar on the next bench.
Again? How many? Ooh. Times you gonna apply O?
The time was 3:13 p.m. Omari glanced at his encumbered pocket where his phone was, but continued his spot.
Well, you know how fucking boring this place is. I heard Reggie got on with an Amazon gig. He said they hiring, so why not? Ah!
X-Ray clanked the bar with control, back on the hooks. As many as he could turned out to be near 10 reps. His brother sat up, stood, then immediately began removing the clips and weights. He wasn't sweating at all.
You mean that struggle ball nigga?
Hey, he said on Instagram that he's saving up money to get an ass hair transplant.
X-Ray sniffed loud, then snickered.
Oh, hair replacement? They take it from your ass and put on your head?
Bro, I don't know. That's just what he say.
Omari's breath came out in a partial laugh, like a pressed-on, near-deflated balloon.
They should take it from your pubes. Not even an open fire could take that hair out.
Omari felt the crown of his head. He'd always kept it shaved low, a fact he attributed to the frown as his finger found emerging skin growing where good hair once grew. X-Ray slapped his hand away.
Quit that. Emma go get water. You better be ready for your set when I get back.
He went toward the fountains. Omari's phone shook in his shorts. 3:27 p.m., the digital clock said. Close enough. Reading the message made the single muscle he'd been holding in his buttocks lose all tension, but his forearms corded somewhere beneath the skin. 3:27 p.m.
Oh, it's Janique. I got it in on the Amazon job down in LV, but Emma need a ride. Still Uberin?
Omari looked over his shoulder. X was stooped over the water fountain. He glanced again, wiped his thumbs on the enlightened bar, then rapid-fire texted.
Yeah, I am.
He thought a second, then 10 more. Another look back. X strode with purpose back toward the bench.
Shit. Vegas is far? You got me for gas?
Come on. X had stopped behind him to chat with someone Omari only knew by voice. Janique's message popped up. 3:29 p.m.
For sure. Plus, I got more than that. If you interested in hearing and seeing...
Omari swiped the palm of his glistening hand over the bar's tiny metal ridges. 3:29 p.m.
Who's that?
X-ray was behind him. Omari shoved his phone in his pocket, then began to move toward the gym exit.
Nobody.
For real? Why nobody got you sweating out your shirt?
X grabbed for his pocket.
Let me see.
Nah, it's all good. Oomph.
Omari tripped over a camouflage dumbbell.
Later, I'll get you later.
What about this set?
Omari was already at the exit, on his way out into the oven air. Part 2. Green shirt or black shirt? Boots or sneakers? Go or no? These are questions Omari had vacillated on for a good 30 minutes before climbing into his teal Toyota Corolla to pick up Janique. A risk, a chance at something he never thought available to him. He'd liked her before, knowing what it meant to like someone. He could even love her, maybe. But there was a nagging in the back of his throat. No amount of saliva would wash down. It manifested as one of those pre-cold itches, one only honey tea and days of lying in bed could cure. He almost popped a citrus-flavored lozenge before dashing out of his manicured room at Aunt Christie's. However, he didn't want his tongue to be dyed orange, just in case. By 4:36 p.m., he was out the door, without a blink, at the mirror. The tiny town of Tonopah was doing its desert thing, flinging fine dust on the road, smelling like flaking wood, making his eyes flex with refracted light that stung even with sunglasses, teasing slants of shade on the west sides of groveless rocky earth, cold gusts swiping across high flatness. This plateau was a prison, a mountain he desired to descend and never return to. When he saw Janique, Omari sat straighter in the driver's seat. He fumbled with the radio. Off or on? Off it was. Janique had her hair in braids, jeans fit right round her waist. She wasn't tall, yet she strutted as if on a catwalk. Even a strong blast of wind did nothing to curve her path. Omari's phone activated while she came over, breaking the temporary spell. Time. 3:45 p.m. He shook his head once at that, then shook it again when he read the message from X, 3:45 p.m. Dad not doing well. Might have skipped his blood pressure meds again. 3:45 p.m. Where the hell you going? He slipped the phone in his jacket pocket, then took a deliberate large breath to stop his hand from trembling. Janique opened the car door.
I thought you were going to come out and walk me over. It's cool. You ready?
Yeah, I'm chill.
She buckled her seatbelt, then reached over and slap-patted his thigh.
You're too funny, O. Thanks for helping me out on such short notice. I didn't think you'd say yes.
Nah, it's no problem.
He began to make his way south out of town.
So you know about the Amazon job? Or, you got an inside connect? Really could use the money. Trying to save up for my own place in Vegas.
She sat royally, hands in lap, chip up. Her nod was officially curt.
I do. Our ex told me you've been looking for work, for a way out of this place. So I figured it'd be win-win for us both.
Yeah, he right.
He put the car in drive and proceeded down the familiar routine, through town.
Why you trying to leave?
Her head turned searchlight style on him. Omari's face shined with a smile under her radiant attention.
I don't know. Well, I do. It's just, well, this place is so boring. Town ain't got nothing going for it. No jobs, barely no schools. Everybody's broke or broken. It's just, well, I see it as a really kind of sad excuse for a place. What's funny?
Janique's laugh was a pitchy, controlled event, like the sound an undisturbed mouse might make.
We got the Central Nevada Museum and the Clown Motel. Why you bitchin'?
See, now I know you didn't just bring that creepy ass place up. Janique, that place is so fucking corny. I don't see why anyone right in the head would come up here for that trash.
She smoothed her jeans while her beamed mirth kept him in the spotlight.
Okay, I was kidding. But oh, real talk, I'm here. Your brother, dad, and mom.
What about her? Oh, besides the fact no one's heard from her since senior year?
Omari's hands gripped the wheel hard. Before they both knew it, a braked trailer full of hanging hay out the back, horseless, appeared at a red light. He barely jammed the brakes in time to prevent a collision. Janique's head rotated forward. Her light dimmed.
I'm just saying, we're all here too. You ever think about that?
Omari adjusted the seatbelt around his belly. When they drove, the car made it jiggle. A red roof floated by his peripheral eye beyond the window's glass. That was the Texaco, the town's last landmark before opening to 3 hours and 7 minutes of awkward desolation. 7:01 p.m. The sunset sky highlighted violet-orange strips over deserted mountains. Both vehicle occupants' vision were trained ahead on the darkening road and the conveyor of occasional headlight pairs approaching from the opposing lane. They hadn't spoken since Texaco. Another buzz of the phone caused Omari's thigh to spasm 3 times, and despite trying to anticipate it, he was surprised every time. He didn't look. There was no need to.
You not gonna read it?
It's just X.
Seems like he really wants to get at you.
I'll hit him later.
In the coming dark, her lighthouse look found him.
You know I used to work with your mama, right?
Omari stretched his neck, then inclined his ear in her direction.
Yeah, I knew. What about her?
Oh, you need to chill. You're so stiff. You're like a statue. Keep it up and birds will come by stand and squirt shit on your head.
Omari chanced a laugh.
I guess I'm just super cautious, yeah.
Why?
You seen how the world treats black guys? We're either completely invisible or visible for all the wrong reasons. There's no happy medium.
Hey, how do you think I feel as a black woman?
Rays of the day's last light shone under passing low clouds. They appeared like the bottom of a heated pot on the oven.
Excuse me, if I'm not mistaken, the last 10 or 15 years have been about lifting y'all up. You'll get programs, fellowships, women's groups and workshops, grants, accelerators, and all.
Janique kept him in her sight, but crossed her arms.
And what we got? Black guys, sagging morale, just as disgust-provoking as ever from everyone, including other black men. That's why I go frozen sometimes, that and
And what?
Omari shook his head.
and nothing. My bad, Janique. It's just I've been looking forward to hanging out with you.
Her mousy laughter hit his ears just right.
What do you mean? I just saw you last week at that barbecue.
Yeah, I know, but that was with X and a whole bunch of other randos. What I meant was hanging out as in just us.
Oh,
Far over them, stars blinked awake. Their joint light, while faint, cast a pale glow on the treated asphalt of Nevada Highway 95. Omari didn't want to look at her because the skin on the right side of his face warmed at her unflinching focus. It was the temperature of a light bulb recently extinguished, pleasantly warm, safe enough to touch.
oh. Later, I'll tell you something about me you might not know.
He noticed the hooked moonlight filtering off her perfect face.
What is it, Janique?
I said later, 'cause first I need another favor.
Part 3. Vegas sparkles in the night, heating cool spring air in a dome of the depression's light. Declining into the valley pushes Omari's sleep, drifting lids up to great aperture. Janique sits equally rapt, unaware her uniquely plumped, raspberry-glossed lips are parted, he noticed. Omari removed his foot from the accelerator to let the rumbling Toyota and the bowl slope decide his pace. Past the new builds of North Las Vegas, made of clone townhouses, accented with sad architectural differences that only serve to highlight their earth-toned sameness, along the suburban sprawl of true West Valley Vegas, where the semi-rich stay in Summerlin, then further lower to downtown, where the well-smoked grind of homeless and roaming tourists' spilled beer, baked into the sidewalks, rises even in mild night air. Omari assumed the position of a wannabe local, ass on the front half of his seat, as he made sometimes well-calculated lane changes among rental cars because they drove too slow. 18-wheeler pilots stomping the gas, their trailers closing in like mobile walls, twin street-tricked cars with low lights and loud engines with custom state plates. 1. C4 TCHME 2 UR2 SL0W racing ribbons through evening traffic. Omari pulled, pushed, braked again while his jaw flexed. Next to him, Janique's head achieved 360-degree ability as prominent neon motion flashed filmic progressions in her eyes.
Oh, there's your exit.
Right, just got a little sidetracked.
You did good. Driving down here is always rough.
She patted his elbow. He pulled his gut in response. The place they stopped seemed a world away from the actioned aura of the Strip. Omari took in his surroundings, like a cat sniffing a discarded M&M's wrapper. A gaggle of shelterless, afflicted street denizens swapped shopping cart contents under arcs of street drenched in dark. If not for the vertical bars of blue light jutting off the structure and an angled cone of heaven-sent white light, the parking lot would have been completely black.
Janique, what you gotta do here?
She placed her hand on the door handle with softness.
There's something I gotta take care of. Shouldn't take more than 10 minutes or so.
Her words were reminded him of the way Mom used to say things to Dad, a one-way delivery of information. No returns required.
You going in alone?
Omari's shoulders fell.
'Cause this place looks a little, unbecoming, you know? Look, it's all dark, shady as shit. You never know what these druggies will do. I think I should go.
I'll be fine. I come here all the time. Just gonna settle something real quick is all. Wait for me. She gave that expecting, genuinely female expression of pre-clingy vulnerability. It was the need for understanding's implicit acceptance, the kind that demanded answers or action. Nothing was not an option. Omari's posture concaved in.
Yeah, I'll be here. But text me if things get weird. I got a bad feeling.
Janique's next movement made him lean away for the rightness of it. Fruit-scented lips, softly placed, landed on his cheek, just above his single, jowled jaw. His breath came so fast he wished the last thing he'd eaten wasn't a bag of Cheetos. The moment was over, in a Vegas minute, one where fortunes are won and lost in the span of a statement.
You're sweet, O. I'll be back.
Then she was gone. Only a cloud of sweet perfume drifted in the passenger seat. 9:41 p.m. An extended party in his pants came to a swift end when he pulled out his phone. 10 missed messages from X-Ray. He swiped up and up to get to the most recent. Reading it made his grip tighten on the phone.
8:10 p.m. Dad stroked out. Ambulance arrived. 8:47 p.m. They can't treat him here. Flying him down to Vegas. 8:47 p.m. We'll text you the address. 8:48 p.m. You good?
He shook like a spooked dog. For the first time in forever, Omari lost time. Typing and retyping messages, not one of which seemed correct, proper, appropriate, or prudent, took the tick-tick of many minutes. The headrest creaked with his head weight heavy against it, a single sound that joined the severely subbed dance music coming from the club's interior. Omari's finger hovered over the stoplight green call button. Another missed minute dropped like change from a shallow pocket. He put his thumb down, phone at his ear. He listened to the digital pulse dial sound. Times like these, it reminded him of a load screen in those OG PlayStation games. Omari leaned forward in antsy waiting. After 5-10 pulses, he pulled the phone away, examining the screen. 10:02 p.m. Right time. Wrong number of people exiting the club at the same time, way too fast. The door had flung open, and a group of girls, ladies, in various vestments of distress, seemingly randomly conceived, moved under the parking light. They slung sharp words. Language of questionable origin, Omari could only make out a few in English.
¿Qué coño? Ese pinche maricón. Fucking loser.
They swayed, lit crumpled cigarettes, and got on their phones for multiple unknown uses. 10:09 p.m. He hadn't heard from Janique. Part 4. Man, this is what happens when I get too deep. Bass beat Omari's back in the cramped entryway. He'd entered something that gave him the feeling of driving the Desert Inn tunnel, except here a permanent haze hung low like a lazy phantom. Wacky weed with its faintly candied aroma. Tito's vodka mixed some other shit, and some failing deodorizer caught in a losing bout with cooch and ball sweat crowded up his nose like an oozing tissue. Omari briefly held his jacket up across his face, but put it down to avoid looking like a punk.
Well, ID.
The voice came from a face like wood, overexposed to sun. She regarded Omari with uncaring impatience. He fumbled to produce his state driver's license. The ladies from before re-entered, temporarily allowing illumination from the parking lot, in like latecomers to a theater. The lady behind the counter inspected his face on the mini document, and before her in hawkish fashion, in a real off-duty cop way. Omari glanced at his phone. 10:12 p.m.
Kid, here.
Teeth, 2 missing. The hue of dried highlighter returned a smile. Vocal cords, forever phlegm-coated as in someone who'd sucked and thrown thousands of smokes, scraped the words out.
Excuse me, ma'am, but I'm looking for my friend.
Music ballooned behind her as sheened air shifted from fuchsia to some type of faded mustard color.
What?
Hey, hurry the fuck up.
One of the staggering women behind him wobbled in shaky heels. Omari dared to touch the counter to lean in. Immediately, nondescript stickiness made his fists close in regret. The ex-cop raised an amused eyebrow.
My friend, she's about this tall, black girl, maybe my age, jeans, brown jacket with white stripes,
Omari said, using a clubbed yell.
Yeah, I seen her. In the back corner, VIP. Tell the guy, Elaine sent ya.
Okay, Elaine, got it.
Omari stepped to enter, then heard her sick voice behind him.
Careful, kid.
Inside the club was a hollow wail, spacious, surprisingly well ventilated, surprisingly empty. Kendrick Lamar's conversational rhythmic bop Peekaboo stomped out the speakers with artfully synced lighting. Omari scanned the area. A short Mexican-ish man in a white suit strutted in concentrated step with an equally short and fleet-footed big-boobed older woman in a leopard print one-piece. A group of 4 in street clothes, likely regulars, shout-talked over a table of empty Coors bottles. Then, right where she'd said, there was a guy, all black-suited, standing before the customary nightclub velvet rope. He spied a familiar coat hanging adjacent to the hall. It was brown with white stripes.
Janique?
Omari rounded the dance floor at a brisk pace. At the rope was the one standing with military posture, hands folded across his crotch, head swiveling in surveillance behind blacked-out shades. He was a black guy with dreadlocks, a block of a head on a sticked frame that made him appear very Minecraftian. Behind him were the chipped plastic stanchions supporting the basic barrier between a common and premium experience. So claimed every hand-slapped flyer tiling the Vegas Strip.
Whoa, not so fast, my man.
Blockhead outstretched his hand in a stop stance. Though not much taller, and certainly not larger than Omari, the formation of his body made a perfect 90-degree angle. A simple thrust at max aura could have shoved Omari's sternum into his heart, MK1 style. Likely. Omari stood on his toes to get another look down the hall, but it was too dark, so he stepped back.
Elaine sent me.
He regretted yelling, half expecting the open palm to fire some sort of geometrically empowered magic or some shit.
Elaine who?
Oh, come on, dude. The lady from the front. You know Elaine?
No, I'm fucking with you. Go on back.
Okay.
When the dreadlocked one grabbed his arm with a reasonably powerful, but not overly so, hand, Omari flinched in reflex. Watch out. Man, dude's kinda in a mood tonight.
Got it.
Omari passed the graffiti-tattooed doors of the bathrooms. Both men's and women's had that foul, backed-up sewer stench seeping beyond the door frames, ghosting through the halls. The music faded to blank, bumping as he moved deeper. At the end of the hall, he found the electric blue-tinted VIP room, a raised booth with a square table, too many drinks, and what he'd come searching for.
Janique.
2, 3, 4 faces, all younger men, shot a spinning collection of irritation at him. They fell reticle-eyed on his chest, then finally on his face. One sitting next to Janique released her from what appeared to be intimate embrace, then stood. Glistening baldness made his age hard to guess, but his clothes hinted he had money or had bought a lot on payment plans. He gave an empty, joyed laugh upon truly seeing him.
Yo, Janique, who dis nigga?
She took a sip of clear liquid from a glass, found her posture, and readjusted her jeans.
Ed, this is the guy I told you about, Omari. He's just my friend.
Now the guys were up and out of the booth, making a wedge formation crisp as a Dorito. Ed joined his posse. Dude was built like Neil deGrasse Tyson in his wrestling prime, easily forcing his lower-ranked crew members to make way for him. Looming over the visibly shorter and softer Omari was an intimidating picture.
Watcha want, friend?
Omari remained still, but he kept her in his sight.
Ed, he's the one for the Amazon job, remember?
Yeah, I do. But I didn't think he'd come here straight like that. This nigga got nuts, right?
Janique slowly rose.
Is that all? Just for the job. Just like she said. Then why didn't you say so? That's an easy thing. You see, bro, my pop's a manager up at the Big Smile Company, that one that delivers all your house stuff and whatever other useless impulse bought garbage, and what nots you order. If it's just about the job, then that's easy. We can take care of that. I can call him this very second and get you on. How does $18 an hour sound?
Omari hung his arms by his side as if talking to law enforcement.
That would be good.
Cool. Say Omari, was it?
Yeah,
You got a resume?
Omari's lips built into an uncomfortable smile.
not on me.
I'm just fucking with you.
Ed and crew laughed heartily, enjoying the fresh arrival's discomfort. Janique wore a troubled expression.
As long as you got a license, you good.
The faces grew quiet again.
So, Omari, anything else? You sure there's no other reason you here?
Ed gently put a hand on his shoulder, then kneaded 3 times, at hyper-massage force. Omari's knees bent, but he worked to keep them straight, but not locked, never letting his eyes off Ed. Janique began to round the table.
Ed, leave him alone. I told you we're just friends. That's it.
Just friends? Really? Because yo friend here smelling real nice. It's like lipstick. Yo lipstick. That's a pretty specific smell. I would know.
He smacked his lips. Omari winced under the pawing grip.
Come on, tell me, Lil. Omari, you like her, don't you? You gotta be honest with yourself on these things. So you gonna confess it here and now. I promise I won't flip shit.
Omari eyed her directly. Her spotlight gaze flashed warnings in these rough waters. Collision imminent.
I do.
The boys moved, but so did Janique. Omari perceived hotness across his jaw. She jumped to the table. Ed pulled out a glimmering edge. Omari shoved himself to his feet. No pain there. Janique grunted. Before he could think, Ed was against the table, sharded, glasses in his back. Hands came out. Omari avoided them. He clasped Janique's forearm, then hoofed it out of the door. No looking back. Only the scented cloud trailing every hard breath told him he had her. First pops, then pings sounded around him. It was Max Aura and 1001 cigarettes on the final flight toward the exit. Part 5. Sirens weren't a sound Omari was used to hearing, unless they were on a YouTube video or in a game. Currently, they seemed all around, swarming, trapping, ready to seize another black face as representation for the degeneracy of the whole race, man and woman. Omari drove like he was taking a driving test. Occasional spurts of speed, with a side of overbraking. He'd put his hand against his risen cheek to feel pained post-dental heat, throbbing in fast jolts. Janique appeared sleepy.
Oh, that was something you did back there.
Yeah, I didn't expect.
Oh,
Yeah?
I think I'm bleeding.
What?
Dual horns, repeatedly bursting beside and behind, caused him to swerve. He acted quickly to stay center lane. A lit police car streaked in the southbound 95 opposite them.
Janique, oh shit. Let me see.
Out of the corner of his eye, he saw it. Her hand covered an expanding, misshapen circle of darkness that was beginning to coat her shirt and jeans and the Corolla's cloth seats. Without her jacket, she shivered, legs curled toward the passenger door, yet a royal confidence still shone through.
This is bad. We gotta stop somewhere. I'll. Okay, there.
Crossing 3 highway lanes at 75 miles per hour without signaling was an easy way to fail a driving test. Omari only saw the shoulder, while unsuspecting drivers crazily veered, brakes screeching mad at his highly dangerous maneuver. Only when the car was stopped did he bother to consider the knotted chaos he might have caused were he driving in another U.S. metro location, where such driving wasn't a nightly occurrence. Omari got out, rounded the hood of the car, then ripped open the passenger door. A grisly scene greeted him. Janique nearly fell out, looking as pale as her skin, and the open twilight allowed.
Janique, I don't know what to do. All I know is to hold it. Don't let the blood go out too fast.
She nodded. He readied his hands. Ready? Another confirmation. Her grown and strained face made the tears bubble up. To prevent them from falling, he breathed hard like he was doing the unfinished workout with X. It's not over. It's not over. You gonna be good? Be good. Janique, you gotta keep your eyes open is what I heard. Come on, Janique. Her eyes fluttered. Janique, just talk to me.
Okay, O. I never told you what I was gonna say before you dropped me off.
Janique, maybe.
I said I would. It's about your mom.
The side of the seat was ruined with hot, oozing fluid.
Janique, I don't know. Shh. Shh, just listen. I saw her at the store not long before she disappeared. It was senior year. I told her that I was gonna see you.
Omari's phone rattled in his pocket.
She was looking strange, odd, like she'd seen something. Something that hangs with you no matter how many times you close your eyes.
While maintaining pressure, he reached a free hand to retrieve his phone. She shifted in discomfort, but continued to stare at the steel gray, clothed car roof. Traffic began to slow around them.
She says to me, "Take care of my boy. Oh, special. He keeps to himself, but you're going to help bring him out. You hear me?"
Omari's features took on ugly distortion while his back heaved. Keeping it in was as hard watching her suffer.
I feel like I gotta keep my word, you know? I got you out, right?
Yes. Yeah, you did.
His mouth was full of spit, causing the words to come out. Balled up.
Jay, Janique, keep talking. You gotta keep talking.
Oh,
Hello? Oh, Fu, where you at? Been trying to get you.
X. Ah, shit, bro. Help me. We need an ambulance now.
Where at?
Side of northbound 95, not far from downtown. Near the Rainbow exit. Janique's not so good.
Okay. Just stay put.
Hold on. There's light coming. I'll call you back.
Omari dared to take his eyes off of Janique to focus on the rotating red and blues, blinding through the stalled traffic. It was the police. 5:08 a.m.
Oh?
With a nod, he called his brother over. X-Ray took a seat next to him in the near-empty hospital lobby.
I just checked with the doc. She said Janique's gonna be all right. Lost a ton of blood, but she's O+, so some local company, Vitalant, had a lot on hand.
Omari searched for patterns in the tiles at his feet. That activity had kept him engaged all night.
Come on, O. She said if you hadn't held the wound, she it might have been different. You saved her life.
It wouldn't have been in danger in the first place if I just stayed my black ass in Tonopah where I belong.
X crossed his arms.
Yeah, but didn't you say the cops got those bangers in that club because of you? Sounds like another win to me.
Omari looked at his brother with a bitter frown.
I'm just trying to be positive. Wasn't an easy night for me either. I nearly puked on the helicopter.
For real? The Mighty X, airsick? Can't believe I missed it.
Oh, you funny now? Okay, go. Head laugh it up. Guess you deserve it for getting you and her out of that den. Guess you didn't need that workout after all to deal with those thugs.
But bro, look at me. I'm still fat.
When you gonna learn, little bro? It's not about how much you weigh. It's about the weight of your heart.
Omari raised his head.
Bro, that was probably the most corniest fucking thing I ever heard you say.
Every snicker made his mouth ache.
Well, maybe, but you know it's true. Stop being so damn hard on yourself.
He offered a smile as lame as his older brother's last line. How's Dad?
Stable. This stroke didn't do him in. He's tough and stubborn as all hell. Guess God wasn't done with him here yet.
5:16. The brothers sat in quiet for a bit. Low hospital calls came over the speakers above a TV playing a cooking show on mute.
X,
What's up?
can you tell me more about Mom?
What about her?
Like, what was she like back in the day?
Now you interested?
All this time I didn't want to know because I thought, well, it's stupid, but I thought it was because of me, because I was so sick and average coming up, not like you.
Of course you're not going to be like me, bro. Impossible task.
I'm being serious. Why didn't you tell me more sooner?
Well, 1, you never asked. 2, you know how you like to keep things separate. You're like a fucking bank vault. Ain't nobody getting in. And guess I just didn't want to hurt you.
Bro, I hear you, but from today you gotta talk to me more.
I will when you ask ready to listen. Cool?
Cool.
Give me a hug.
I'm a little too sore to move, man.
Well, I'm coming in, little bro. Make room.
Omari relaxed and wrapped his unsore arm around his brother's back. They patted each other's backs, as two men who respected each other's efforts, even if it often fell short of too lofty goals, to escape stories too old. End.
X, she out there somewhere, right?
Right,
No body means no death, right?
right.
Then whoever or whatever I gotta work with, I'll find her.
I got you.
X-Ray laughed.
What's so funny?
Guess you got out of Tonopah after all.
End.